Good evening. My name is Sergeant Grayson Stevens, and I'm a Fire Support Equipment Specialist with Marine Corps Systems Command. Today, we're going to be discussing the impact of drones on future battle spaces and how they are changing things. So, the video you see right before you is a drone striking a U.S. supplied Abrams that's fighting in Ukraine. So, as you can see, this is a very current issue that has been changing rapidly. So, to shift focus, drones, or unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, sometimes referred to as UAS, are the future of modern warfare. They provide new capabilities that warfighters haven't had before. These include enhanced surveillance, logistical support, and strike capabilities. So, the DoD, Department of Defense, is spending massively on these. We've spent over $27 billion on drone technology since 2020. We're fielding over 20 different varieties of drones, from small platforms to full-on plane-sized systems. We're additionally fielding things such as counter weapons, such as the Vampire, a pickup truck-mounted anti-drone system. So, we're going to briefly cover different drones that we are currently fielding. Things like the Instant Eye. The Instant Eye is a very short-range drone that allows individual small-sized units to have reconnaissance of their local area. This has not been possible before, and these systems are also relatively cheap and easy to supply. Next, in the middle, we have things like the Switchblade. The Switchblade was an attempt at a kamikaze or a strike drone, but it failed. Recent DoD reports have showcased that it's very poor effectiveness and it's incredibly high cost per system, and we have decided to branch away from that and pursue other efforts due to its unfeasibility and unsupported design. Lastly, you have things like the Reaper. The Reaper is classic. It's used in Western media from movies in Hollywood to TV shows. It does everything. It can do reconnaissance, it can do strikes, but the downside is it's very large and it requires large amounts of crew and personnel to operate it, usually working out of air bases. Next, we're going to briefly cover counter UAS systems. These are systems that are designed to fight against drone technology to support troops. So, again, left to right, we have things like the Drone Buster. It's the smallest, it's the cheapest. The downsides to the Drone Buster are the enemy drone is going to see you before you're able to try to bring it down. Generally, that's not advised. Second, we have new off-the-shelf systems called like the Vampire. Vampire utilizes cheap missiles that were already in the inventory and it modifies them so that they're able to engage drones. The system just fits in the back of a pickup truck and it takes very little time to build them, so it's incredibly useful on dynamic battlefields. Lastly, we have things like this SHORAD Striker. This is a very new, highly expensive system that utilizes very high-powered lasers to attack enemy drones. The benefit to this is that the lasers, all they need is a generator. You just have to charge up the batteries and you can engage drone after drone. Every shot is very cheap at roughly only $5, and that's in maintenance costs. How far it can take down drones is classified still, but the real issue here is this is a testbed prototype. Only 4 of them were built, and being with such a short number, they're not able to be used everywhere. So, next we're going to discuss the economics of drone warfare. First, we're going to discuss this tank. This is a modern Leopard 2 main battle tank. It's very expensive at $11 million. It requires a very highly trained crew, and training that crew takes a lot of time. In comparison, this is a Lancet drone developed by Russia. Building these drones takes very little time. They're significantly cheaper, only $35,000 a system, and it doesn't require any particular training. What that means is that for one Leopard tank, you could have 300 of these drones. And as we've seen on the battlefields of Ukraine, they're more than capable of taking out these heavily armored tanks. So, that leaves commanders with the decision. Buy a few tanks or buy thousands of these drones that can do multiple different mission sets, from reconnaissance to logistical support to even strikes, which the tanks can't do. So, I sat down and had a brief interview with U.S. Army Major Ian Munoz. We discussed the effects of drones and their future in warfare. His viewpoint is that not only are these drones changing the battle space, but they're also changing society as well. We've seen the same effects on both the battlefield and society. For example, Amazon is starting to use drones to deliver packages, whereas the US military is attempting to use drones to deliver aid packages and ammo supplies. So we're seeing a duplication of efforts on both the modern society as well as the modern battlefield. So, in conclusion, drones are offering enhanced surveillance, logistics, and strike capabilities at a much cheaper and more economic and logistical supportive system than ever before. The economics alone are going to be playing a key role in why we're pursuing this technology instead of others. So, with that being said, the United States is not the only nation trying to pursue this technology. Our peers, such as Russia, China, and even India and places like Mexico, are also investing in these capabilities. So, it's important that America takes the lead so we can retain our leading edge and our combat capabilities going forward. So, we've discussed drones and their impact on modern warfare and the future of it. And my name is Sergeant Grayson Stevens, and it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you.